Mr. Milind Deora, a former Congress leader who is currently with the Shiv Sena. Mr. Deora entered the Lok Sabha in 2004 as one of its youngest members. He has held various positions in parliamentary committees on defense, civil aviation, estimates, urban development, and information technology. He has also served as India's Minister of State for Communications and Information Technology and Shipping. He initiated the debate in Parliament on the right to information. Vikas Dhoot will be in conversation with him on how Shiv Sena's legacy battle will affect Maharashtra's polls.
So very nice of you to take time out on the intense poll campaign and spend some time with us. You are, of course, one of India's most urbane, I would say, politicians, obviously coming from South Bombay, and you've been articulate about several policy issues, not just in your current avatar as a Sena member, but also in your earlier innings as Congress. And your father, of course, has been one of the tallest leaders that Bombay has produced in political arena in India. So wanted to get a sense of, I know you must have answered this question several times, but the transition that recently you underwent, you switched from the Congress to the Shinde Sena and the Shiv Sena. And what you seen, of course, is the Lok Sabha. There was sort of a tide turning against the Mahayuti, so to speak, the Congress and the MBA gaining an upper hand, including in seats in Bombay. So do you feel that the timing was off, or do you think it's just a matter of...
My timing, you mean?
Yeah.
Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here at the Hindu poll arena. And I really believe politics is a lot like investing in the markets. I think if you try to time it, you'll get it wrong. There's no right time or wrong time. If you're in it for the long term, if you're in seva, the business of seva for a long time, it eventually works out well. And, I'm still the same person I was. I still believe in the same issues. I believed in certain economic issues when I was in the Congress. I have the same economic beliefs today. I believed in certain social issues when I was in the Congress. I have the same social beliefs today. So I don't see anything has really changed for me. I'm ultimately driven and motivated by people who want to do something good for the city, for the state, for the country. That is an overriding factor for me in politics, regardless of whether I am empowered or not empowered. If there's a movement forward, that's something which keeps me excited. To me, there were many reasons for leaving the Congress. One of those reasons, and I don't want to go too deep into that, but one of the reasons was, I think that the party in many ways lost its way in terms of, that was my perception, in terms of what it was earlier, what it was during my father's time, it still is now, on many issues, on many parameters. And sometimes, no doubt the party gave me a lot, gave someone like me a huge platform. But in any organization and in any profession, could be in a media organization, could be in a political party, you have to thank and be grateful for the organization that's given you a lot. But you can't just hold on to the past. You have to also think about the present. Are they valuing you today? Are they valuing what you bring to the table today? And then accordingly, you have to take a decision. So I don't think I have any regrets. I think that I'm happy where I am. I'm happy to be empowered to serve Mumbai, Maharashtra, my country. And whatever role I have been having in the last few months has been very focused on taking the city forward, helping attract investments to the state. These are things I'm comfortable with. These are areas which I like. I entered politics in the first place to do. So I don't feel suffocated in any way.
How do you feel? I mean, that's very well put. That you have to value what the organization has given you, but you can't remain stuck in the past. You have to keep moving forward, where you can deliver more bang for the buck for your priorities. So, wanted to get a sense. You've been in Minister of State, of course. You've also in the union government. You've also been an MP. Now you're probably fighting one of your first battles in the Legislative Assembly. And how's that? Because this is a different sort of energy. There's a different sort of dynamic at play. issues are slightly different, more localized, hyper-local.
See, politics is always local. I always believe that. Even if you fight a Lok Sabha election, I've never fought a single Lok Sabha election where you're only saying this is the central vote based on a central idea. It's based on regional ideas, based on local ideas. So even when we fight Lok Sabha elections, it's based on housing, affordable housing, what is happening with local communities. So I don't think, in fact, I'm raising some issues at a local election about national issues also. So to me, regardless of the platform you have, whether the platform is regional, national, you have to have a mix as a legislator of local focus, regional focus, and national focus. You cannot say that I'm a MLA and I only have a regional focus. You cannot say that I'm an MP and I only have a national focus. Everything plays into each other. What happens nationally affects things locally. What happens locally affects things nationally. So for us, politics has always been that way. My father's politics was national, very local also. As an MP, he helped. For example, he brought a project called the PMGP, the Prime Minister's Grant Project in '85, which gave housing to the local people in Mumbai and Maharashtra, and affordable housing. And there are lakhs of people who benefited from that. That's a very local project. It was not just driven by a national thing. Sometimes as a national legislator, you can help locally also. I remember when the BMC wanted almost 1,200 crore rupees to upgrade Mumbai's stormwater drainage network, to prevent flooding during monsoons, to expand the stormwater drains. We went to the Prime Minister of India at the time, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and got money from the center. That's a good example of where you use your national power to solve a local issues. And it can work vice versa. So I don't see much of a difference. I see the same way as campaigning as I was during Lok Sabha. Certainly the positions are different depending on what happens in the election results, but issues are not very different. And I think this election also, assembly election, is largely about, Mumbai and Maharashtra. It's not so much about India, but it's largely about where the state is going, where the city is going. And the sense I'm getting in this election is people want the city to move forward quickly. There has been a lot of growth in the city in the last few years. There's been a lot of infrastructure in the city in the last few years that has come on steam, whether it's for motorists, whether it's for people who use public transportation, whether it's relating to urban housing. And it's very easy sometimes, to be a critique and to criticize, this is bad, this is bad. And sometimes people have personal reasons why they have to criticize. I understand if Aditya before me must have made personal attacks, and I understand why he would do that. Because he must be feeling that his party was stolen. But people have to also understand that a political party doesn't belong to one individual. It has to belong to the people. When you're a chairman of a party, you are like the custodian of that party. Party is a medium through which you serve the public. Anyone who thinks my party was stolen has a very entitled view of that particular party to start with. And sometimes personal politics then translates into opposing for the sake of opposing. And I saw that to a large extent even in the Congress nationally. Anything the Prime Minister would do, good or bad, would just be opposed because he's suggesting it. And same way over here. One very good example is, there's a Mahalakshmi race course. It's the only race course in Mumbai. And 2013, the lease between the Mumbai municipality and the race course expired. I think it was a 99 or 100-year lease. And 2013, there are videos where a very young Aditya with Uddhavji, who at that time, they controlled the BMC. They wanted to renew the lease and create what they called a theme park in Mahalakshmi Racecourse. There are videos, there's statements. They met the Chief Minister at the time, Prithviraj Chavan, and for various reasons that project got scrapped. From 2013 to 2022, while they were in power in the city, state, that lease never got renewed. That lease just got renewed about 6 months ago. Finally, after almost 11 years of the lease expiring, finally the lease got renewed, similar to their plan, which was suggested 11 years ago. A plan got implemented where 120 acres of that park Right now, only a walking track is available to the people of Mumbai. Now the entire 120 acres will come to the city, to the BMC. Plus, it will be connected with the coastal roads, parks of 180 acres. So you'll have about a 300-acre plot of green spaces, open spaces in the heart of South Mumbai. And he opposed that. And I understood why he opposed that, because he opposed it because they didn't do it, but someone else has done it. And the person who's done it in their mind might be enemy number one. So these are things which are politics. This is part of politics. This is part of the political circus we're all part of. But you have to move beyond politics sometimes and do what's right for the city, do what's right for the state. So I always believe, who does what is irrelevant. And if you can look beyond who takes credit, you can achieve a lot in this country. So I think Mumbai today is moving forward. There may be areas where we can improve. Someone has a problem with one particular industrialist doing a project, give it to someone else. But depriving 2 lakh people of getting a home, keeping that continuing where foreigners come to Mumbai and they go to Asia's largest slum to take photographs. You have to change those things. You have to now move forward. You have to, and if you want to do that, the reason it's not happened for 50 years is because someone has not got an incentive to do that. You'll have to, as a state, give them an incentive to attract an investor to come and do it. Otherwise, it will not happen. Now, is that incentive good, bad? You can debate that. Is the person who won got the award good, bad? You can debate that. Scrap it if you don't like them. But don't deprive the larger cause. And that's why what I said is speed breaker politics has now become the norm from Mumbai to Delhi. And we have to do away with that speed breaker politics. Opposing the metro, for what? We all are environmentalists. There's no monopoly on being an environmentalist. Even I love the environment. Even I believe climate change is a serious issue. I personally go to Borivali National Park many times during the monsoon session for treks. I take my daughter there. But you have to balance infrastructure also. Today, look at the Mumbai railway network. It's so congested for those who use public transportation. When you have north-south connectivity by the metro, you're immediately decongesting the railway network. You're giving people an air-conditioned option to travel by metro, which is faster than the railway, the train from South Mumbai to North Mumbai, quicker, easier. Opposed for no reason, delayed by 4 years, 14,000 crore cost to the exchequer. Vadhavan port in Palghar, I've been a shipping minister. I know how important port-led development is in our country. When you build a large port, you create huge ancillary industries around that area. Vadhavan port today is the largest port in the country. It will be one of the largest ports in South Asia, which is coming to Maharashtra, opposed again by the same gentleman. Jaitapur nuclear plant, largest nuclear plant in the world. In the world. Now, the world is looking at nuclear energy. Europe is going back to nuclear energy. America is going back to nuclear energy. China is trying to solve its climate change problems, net zero targets by going to nuclear energy. Large nuclear reactors, small modular nuclear reactors, micro reactors. Largest nuclear plant in the world, clean energy, green energy, coming to Maharashtra, opposed.
And this is by a government, a party which basically pushed through the nuclear deal to allow such projects to come up.
This is by the person who was sitting on this chair before me, who I thought was a young, progressive man who will want to do things. And it actually is very sad because I really believe people who delay these projects for Mumbai, Maharashtra, India, they are ultimately harming the city and the country. You have to find a way to keep politics aside. You can do politics, attack, but sometimes when you do these things, you create problems. And, so these are the reasons why Maharashtra lost out to a great degree. And today there's as I said, the speed breakers are being removed and you're moving without a speed limit. So Maharashtra is moving forward. Look at FDI numbers. We were number 2 till 2.5 years ago. I think there's only one time in Maharashtra's history where we've not been number 1 in attracting FDI. That happened during 2018 to 22. We've come back to number 1 now. In fact, last year, I think 52% of all foreign direct investment which came to India came to Maharashtra. So more than half came to India. And I've seen, when you go to a place like Davos, I've seen how competitive the world is now. A foreign investor wants to set up a factory. They have the entire world as their canvas. It's a great boon for us that they choose India. Then when they choose India, they have many states now competing. There's competition between states also, which is a new trend in India. I can go to Karnataka, I can go to Gujarat, I can go to Maharashtra, I can go to Telangana, I can go to Tamil Nadu. In fact, I remember this year in Davos in the pavilions, there was the India pavilion, there was Maharashtra pavilion, there was Karnataka pavilion, there was Tamil Nadu pavilion, there was Telangana pavilion, and all competing, telling the same investor, come here, don't go to that state, come here, don't go to that state, I'll give you land free, I'll give you this free, I'll give you that free. So it's a competitive world. Despite that, 52% of foreign investment coming into the country has come to our state. So I believe these are reasons why we have to take the state forward. We have to reclaim our position, and Maharashtra has a huge role in taking India's economic story forward. Almost a fifth of India's growth, economic growth, will come from Maharashtra, and a large percent of that growth in Maharashtra will come from the MMR region. So today, the coastal road now will go from South Mumbai all the way to Palghar. You have a Worli to Shivdi flyover, which will take you directly from Worli to the Atal Setu bridge. You can reach, say, Navi Mumbai airport. You can reach the hinterland. There are many other connections, Nariman Point, underground tunnel reaching Shivdi. So the infrastructure is unprecedented. And it's important for this region. When you look at the port, you look at 2 airports. In fact, there's a 3rd airport. There's a 3rd Mumbai being planned. When you club all of this, MMR will become a very important economic hub, not just for Maharashtra, but for India. And that's important. So I think we are sitting at an inflection point where what we do in the next few years will determine not just the state's trajectory, but India's trajectory.
So that's a very broad sweep development vision you presented. One of the complaints that, I mean, if you recall, in the UPA government, there was a committee set up to make Mumbai an international financial services center. And there was a very detailed report that was presented by Percy Mistry and company. So, of course, that project has basically been implemented in Gujarat. And, that's one of the reasons people say, Bombay is sort of not, at least not the cutting edge of financial services hub that it used to be, say.
I think Mumbai lost out. Look, let's be honest now. If you don't mind, I'll take this as the last question. Mumbai lost out for many reasons. And Mumbai lost out in the IT sector. The IT sector largely moved over the last 25 years to southern states. That's largely linked to human resources. You saw the greatest move in Telangana. You saw it in Hyderabad. You saw it in Chennai. You saw it in Bengaluru. We still retain a huge lead nationally in financial services. We are still the #1 city or region in financial services. We are still the #1 region when it comes to creative services. When I say creative services, I mean Bollywood, I mean advertising agency, to some extent even the media profession. Large section of them reside here in Mumbai. So I really believe we lost out because of a lack of infrastructure. These projects we're talking about now, Atal Setu, Coastal Road, these are 30-year, 40-year, 50-year-old projects envisioned. The Atal Setu was envisioned during JRD Tata's time. Finally been implemented. So these are things which I remember in 2004, when I entered Parliament. I raised those issues in Parliament, in the state government. The state government at the time even executed the Atal Setu. It got bid out, and that bid got cancelled for various reasons. So Navi Mumbai International Airport, I remember Dr. Manmohan Singh cleared that project as Environment Minister. And then a minister in his own government who became, I won't name that ministry, otherwise you'll know who I'm talking about, became a minister a few months after him, overturned the Prime Minister's decision on Navi Mumbai Airport, which is why we lost 6.5 years on Navi Mumbai International Airport. So this politics is not new. This has been going on for a long time. Just opposing for the sake of opposing, if we don't realize that India loses, someone else gains because of India's loss, then there'll be a problem. I think now Mumbai has put in place the move to build world-class infrastructure. When I say world-class infrastructure, I don't just mean highways and metros and public transportation. We also have to build large parks like the Mahalakshmi race course, the coastal road. We also need high quality of life. We need to build affordable housing. All of those things need to happen. I don't deny that. But I think we're on the right track. There is political leadership. There's no confusion. And we want to move forward. And I'm very confident that in the years to come, we will retain our position and strengthen it further. I think Gift City, which happened, which is the financial service center, in many ways is work in progress. I mean, the best example for that is it started out, didn't do well. One of the feedbacks they got was executives don't want to be there if there's ban on alcohol. And then they relaxed that, and then people moved there. So these are all work in progresses. I believe now India has the potential and the scope to have not just one international financial center, but a second one also. And that naturally should come to Mumbai. I always say Mumbai's competition is no longer Telangana, Hyderabad, Delhi, Gujarat, Ahmedabad, wherever else, Bengaluru, Chennai, Kolkata. Now Mumbai's competition is Dubai and Singapore. We have to think global, not just national, and then we can achieve a lot.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Milind.
you. Thank you.
On that positive note, we also hope that constructive politicians like you continue to stay active and create a environment where this is the framework on which electoral politics is debated going forward, rather than freebies and caste divisions and so on. So we wish you the best of luck in your innings.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you back for future interactions.
Pleasure. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.